One last thing here to mention is the use of quotations. Be careful with the use of quotations. In general, most of the writing, most of the sources you should use, you should either paraphrase or summarize in your paper. Use a quotation only if it is absolutely necessary or if there is no better way to say it than what has been said. Now, certainly the temptation exists. Well, this person is a scholar, they've written this, why not just put their words in? Because I'm not reading their article, I'm not reading their commentary, I'm reading your paper. So I want to hear what you have to think. So please don't give me this paper that's a series of block quotations because you're trying to make 2,500 words. Instead, put in the effort to put this into your own terms. Put it into your own wording. This is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a collection of quotations. Questions or comments? Anything I need to clarify? All right, if that's the case, let's move on to working again on some citation examples. So we'll spend some time the last part of class here working on citations and putting those citations in SBL format. So let's start off with a journal article. All right, so take a couple minutes, put this information in SBL format for a footnote. Obviously, as you're writing it there, you don't have to write out the entire URL. You can just abbreviate URL. Probably realize that I just want to make sure that in the parentheses is the abbreviation for Harvard Theological Review. It is not part of the title. I guess I should have carefully delineated that, but I'm sure you probably picked that up. Okay, let's talk about what the footnote would look like. So, what is the first piece of information to include in the footnote? Okay, how is that going to appear? All right, first, middle, last. What comes after that? What punctuation do we put after the author's name for footnote? Comma. Okay. So, author's name, comma. What's next? The title of the article. All right, so you want the article title. In this case, Apostle Case of Luke and Authorship, John 7:53 through 8:11. How should that appear in the footnote? Okay. For journal article, is that how the title of the journal article should appear? Should be in quotation marks, right? So the article, the article title should be in quotation marks. You would probably want to capitalize the P, the C, and the A. Any other punctuation we need to be mindful of with the journal title? So we put in quotation marks. After this, parentheses, a comma, and then the end quotation marks. What comes next? All right, the journal title. How should that appear in the footnote? All right, so abbreviated and italicized, so in this case HTR, and that would be italicized. What comes next? All right, the volume number, so HTR in italics, 10 is our volume number. We don't put volume or anything like that, just the 10. After the volume number is the year in parentheses. We don't need that it was July. Right? We're just going to put 1917 in parentheses. After that, we're putting a colon. And then what is the information after that? All right, so the page number, just the page we're citing, and then the URL. Remember that if you're looking at it electronically on the ATLA Religion Database, there is that option on the right-hand side of the paper, or excuse me, right-hand side of the screen, that says permalink if it does not have a DOI. So it should look something like this. All right, let's try another one. In this case, we're going for a bibliographic citation of this information. All right, so what does this look like as a bibliographic citation? What comes first? Okay, the author. How does that appear? All right, last name first. All right, so Baum, Common, Harmon. The Daniel may or may not be necessary. You would have to make that determination, followed by a period. How will this source be organized related to the rest of the sources in your bibliography? All right, so bibliography is organized by the author's last name, alphabetized by the author's last name. Okay, so what comes next after the author's name, last name, first name, period? What comes next? Title of, right? And the article. I mean, it says source here, but that could, the journal title, right? So this, right, in quotation marks because it is a journal. It is an article, right? So it appears in quotation marks. Is there anything else we have to do differently with this? This phrase, first be adulterated, because it is Latin, should be italicized. And so if you have foreign words in your title, those need to be italicized, even if it is in quotation marks. Probably also want to capitalize canonical authority in a confessional and approach. This time, because it is a bibliography, a period follows the the article title. In most cases, punctuation goes inside of the quotation marks. So quotation marks does occur to be adulterated on 753-811, have canonical authority, an interconfessional approach, period, and quotation marks. What comes next? The journal title. How should that appear? All right, so written out and italicized. After that, the volume. Where do we put the issue number? You don't need it. Red herring doesn't count. 24 in parentheses the year. What of these pages do you need in the bibliography? Not all of the pages you're using, but all of the pages of the article. Right? In the footnotes, you want to just identify the pages you're using. In the bibliography for an article, all of the pages for the article. All right, followed by a period and followed by the URL, or if it has a DOI. Questions about citing journal articles?
Would you write it word 63 for 78, or would you put the word 78?
You're right, it should be the 70. I forgot that. That's true, because I made that mistake. So that should be, it should be 163-78 instead of 178. Right, so you should drop that 1. Numbers above 100. And also, we did mention this with either of the previous sources. Right? Footnotes, that first line is indented. Bibliography, you have a hanging indent. Right? And everything else is indented after that first line. Other questions about journal articles?
I have a question on footnotes. Like when you go into Word and you do them, is that the size they need to be? Whatever.
You can leave them that size. I think it's if you have like a 12-point font as your normal, it puts it as 10-point. You can do that, or you can make them 12-point font, the same as the rest of your paper. All right, so either way you want to approach that, I'm not going to require something for the paper.